Hello! I'm Nocti, or Lazuli, depends on what you want to call me. I am a very openly autistic and asexual lesbian cosplayer and small content creator for Final Fantasy XIV and most notably for this case, Touhou Project. My content is always safe for work and inclusive. I make music, I DJ in costume, I draw, etc. I collect handmade plushies made by small artists and open them on my channel with a cosplay of a matching character. I'm just here to have a grand old time in my whimsy lane and do what I love. I'm introducing myself to you, head on, because I am setting the scene to show you that none of what is trailing behind me right now is anything I want anything to do with. I am openly calling out the Skyvesta Mugen server for harboring and enabling predators which are now after me for saying no to their advances. Why am I posting this on YouTube, you ask? Because one, I know they are watching my YouTube. And two, because while Blue Sky, Tumblr, etc. are smaller platforms, YouTube has always stood the test of time. So if I want my voice to be heard, this is the platform of choice. This video will have some light commentary and will be edited in a casual manner because that's the only way I can make it digestible. Buckle in. Trigger warning for everything you can think of. So, on June 16, 2024, I was informed by a very dear friend that this man, Larpsen, also goes by Xoark, Koi, and Vampire Bloodlines The Masquerade, was deeply infatuated with me. These are all messages from June 16, 2024. I am not going to read them out loud. To a great start, aren't we? The Black Souls profile picture will be relevant later. If you don't know, unfortunately, that is a Dark Souls inspired hentai. We're barely starting the video. So my friend Chun is a very respected member of the Mugen community. He said no to his advances on my behalf, not deeming it urgent to inform me at first. We genuinely thought it was enough to deter him. But because Xoark, Larpsen, whatever, was not taking Chun's refusal for an answer, fun game, count the times Chun said no. He sensed danger and immediately warned me that this was going to become a problem. Please note, my friend introduced me to Nocti in an attempt to try and get me to have a better role model. This will be irrelevant later as I unearth the horrors. Also, please do not do that. Don't introduce me to predators thinking I would fix them, because hear this, I don't want to. They don't want to get better either, and are allergic to character development, so all you're offering these people is the illusion of a life with me, an unlimited access to my body, that they'll never have. The friend here is just as responsible as Koi for enabling their imagination, and I will get to them too. So, I took it upon myself to make a tweet, back when I still had my Twitter, to make sure he knew that I saw him. Yeah, I admit, I made it lighthearted and silly on purpose, because I was hoping that's all it would be. A silly, unpleasant, random, one-off encounter that could be brushed off in just as silly of a manner. Granted, yes, I could have made a more serious tweet. I should have made a more serious tweet. But to be honest, I did not want to admit that it would be that serious. I just thought a public tweet that jabbed at his bravado would stop him in his tracks, while also saving me some unwanted stress. I did not want this man to have any power over me. For some unfathomable reason, the dragon/tapeworm joke, which was explicitly a silly metaphor/joke to point out that I was way out of reach for him forever, will be irrelevant later. God forbid I am silly on purpose when you don't think I have the right to. I did not want this to escalate. And I did not want to be anywhere where this dude had a grip on me. So yes, the tweet is silly. But that's because, at the time again, that's all I was hoping this would be. Well, most people were supportive and understanding that this was the textbook example of harassment in the making. I still got backlash from a handful of my own followers, saying I got too far and that he's just a harmless little guy that wouldn't have hurt you, which is, again, a form of victim blaming in on itself. I'll need you to remember my tweet when you see what the other party has been saying about me and think on this one again. So I deleted the tweet so that it wouldn't spread past my own follower base. I thought it was the end of it at the time. I was aware that he was freaking out, so before it got out of hand and dragged along people that were only here to instigate or go vigilante on me, I took down the tweet. You know, before shit got out of my hands. I was hit with this loser in the replies, who came out in bad faith just to argue. I put him back in this place exactly once, blocked, and moved on with my life. Block relevant for later. From what few Mugen insights I've gotten, he is a despised figure in the Mugen community that's been ostracized for his vile behavior. Again, not in the Mugen fandom, so can't exactly vouch for that, but if Mugen fans see him and recognize him, please do testify. You will be heard and your voice will be amplified. I thought it was it. I thought I got them through minimal interaction and this was the end. For me. For me it was. I moved on away and back to my daily life thinking this was off my plate. But no, the fuck it's not! I went to Fall Ray Taisai 2024. In case it escapes my target audience, it's an official Toho Project only convention at the Tokyo Big site that happens twice a year. I went as part of a birthday trip. You know, for my own sake. For my own whimsy lane. Nothing more, nothing less. I was here just to have a time and see my friends. The second I announce that I will be going, this stranger comes in and tells me there's a Discord server to help with Japan meetups. I join, not knowing. I won't go too deep over the early convos since I have no logs for them, blocked account and closed DM, but it doesn't matter, that's not why I blocked him. Unlike what he claims, him being clingy at Ray Taisai or whatever the hell has nothing to do with why I cut him off. Here's the real catch. I found out later from a dear friend that has been brave enough to let me know of their grievances with Darkslayer that he was protecting a certain koi. I did not make the connection then. I only knew him as Xoark and Larpsen at the time, who was in possession of 10,000 yen worth of R18, which he hinted at being of illegal nature. You guessed it. Based on later evidence, it is hardcore lolicon. That protection is why I blocked Darkslayer, and also for fighting Darkslayer's Reddit account, which is full of vile things that put him by default in the same bag as Larpsen, but that's not relevant to the case. What is relevant though is that Darkslayer, aka Kai, did take offense to me blocking him after Raid Taisai and thinks of me as entitled for it. Very relevant for later. I am fully, by the way, convinced that Darkslayer is the one that introduced me and my channel to the thorn in my fucking side in an attempt to fix him. Now, it should be stated, I am not a Mugen player. I'm not interested, not my thing, not my lane. I will never be really interested in playing Mugen. I am not, was not, and will not be part of this server, and I do not wish to know anyone in it. Everything I'm about to show you boils down to a bunch of losers that I didn't even know about. Our group beefing with me for just existing. This was the original aftermath of my tweet. They seemed to understand that their two buddies got out of line and took the L. Again, that should have been the end of it. Also, brushing aside the fact that I am not a celebrity. I am much smaller, and I do not have the hired bodyguards at my sides all the time to make the 30 posts a day for me. But you wouldn't know that, because you've never been hunted down, like a sexual prize to be tamed and domesticated by unsolicited pests before. Tell me, why a year later, I am still a prime topic of conversation in this server I've never been in. I haven't done shit since then. So that means that the echo chamber of vitriol therein made me relevant all these months later. And these are just the messages from August 16th, 2025. I haven't even bothered to look at earlier convos because this one alone is more than enough evidence. And this is the part that's making me make this video. Trigger warnings on screen. I suggest that you do not eat while watching this section, and I will try to edit it to be as digestible as possible. Okay. Also confirmed the fagging about Kai, Darkslayer, and his interactions with me, which means they've been talking about my refusal of associating with Kai amongst themselves. The Raid Taisai I can't go because she's going thing is so funny to me because no, I would not have recognized you at Raid Taisai. I don't even know what you look like. I do not care. They're projecting how they would have reacted seeing me in the wild because, you know, they would have walked up to me to purposely try and ruin my vibe out of pure spite. I would have just stayed in my lane and enjoyed my enrichment. Nothing would have changed for me from how Raid Taisai actually went for me. But they can't comprehend that someone would not instigate shit as soon as they're given the slightest chance to do so. And this is also the part where they genuinely think I believe to be a dragon in the flesh and blood or some shit from the tapeworm tweet from 20 trillion years ago. God help these men's reading comprehension is through the gutter. Ace Phobia 2! Wow, a group of incels projecting their rabid behavior on me because my label is completely unrelatable for them. Apparently, group readings of my DNI is also a thing they do. Like, is this peak enrichment for you? Reading the lesbian next door's DNI? They found out from stalking my blue sky, no less, that I have been no contact with my father from, let me check the notes real quick. Me talking about Rain Waters from Final Fantasy XIV and why she means so much to me. Which was something I was proud of because that made my attachment to the character all the more special. And they ran with it, I guess. Disappointed but not surprised. Still, how can a person hold so much vitriol in them baffles me. Oh, and here are the actual threats of many flavors. Deepfakes, caricaturing my style out of spite, sending illicit material unprompted, blatant misogyny with a purist comment. The list goes on. Oh joy, would be a shame if someone were to see them with their own two eyes in a public server accessible to all now, wouldn't it? Also roasted where? Roasted where exactly? Is this the genre of person to unironically think blocked equals I own you or some shit? I didn't want to have a fucking flea, my reply, so you're gone, you took the L, and now you're coping horribly with it. It's just that simple. These are not words that I ever planned to say out loud, but the very lovely voice he threatened to spam me with was of Chirino from Toho Project, who is very explicitly stated in lore to be a child-coded character. Oh, also this screenshot is more recent to help me get more context. However, it seems Koi has left the server since, which happened right after his username change. See later in the video for that. Also, here's where Black Souls becomes relevant. They think it would be funny to make me draw something that violates my DNI by assuming I am ignorant enough to fall for it like I'm 12 and it's my first day on the internet. Where do you think the DNI comes from if I don't know what's on it? Critical thinking has left the building. Finishing off this whole strand of nonsense with prime ableism to make me look irrational or hysterical at all times for not being addicted to lolly porn like they are. Like, I'm everything you hate, you're everything I hate. Why are you dragging this to take these proportions? You could have stopped at the first no. Anyone should have stopped at the first no. Mind you, I'm being labeled as an attention whore with self-absorbed main protagonist syndrome for, having boundaries and not being a shallow female character from a doujin that's only here to sleep with you no matter what. Oh, and also for promoting my art to get picked up by the algorithm. Do they not understand that making art on the internet is kind of my job, and so it requires me to be a little bit loud because that's how social media works, or are they this level of echo chambered? And at last, nothing as grave compared to any of the above, but they apparently made a pillow edit of me, which is laughable at best. A pillow edit is apparently a tradition in Mugen spaces to slap someone's profile picture on a striking dummy character that can't fight back. I don't know what to tell you here other than they have a lot of time to waste, I guess. I guess they think it's an own? Still, including this here to showcase the level at which they are wasting their days on me. This was August 28th, which means I have been on these dudes' minds for 4 days since the original convo. Glad it's wasted on something this shallow, but I'm not going to grant them a worse second try. And that's what I have. Now on the finishing notes. What really fries me here is that the infatuation is only from my cosplays. They have never seen me outside of my Gengatsu cosplay. Do they just assume that I look and dress like that every day? Do they assume that I always am as I'm seen on social media? I'm still going to enact safety precautions before these empty threats aren't all that empty anymore. They're taking turns making each other's fuses snap on their own while blaming me for it. And I can't take any risks. underestimating severely unhinged cliques of men that only bond with each other by sharing drawn seat, and blaming the evil woke lesbian cosplayer outside for their woes is not a mistake I'll make twice. They're laughable because I'm stronger than them right now due to my artist status, but I'm still taking them seriously. For the littler guys back there that don't have the same reach to back them up. If I have to make a public statement about this, then I will. Because it's not just about me. I just happen to be loud about this for those in the back that can't do the same. It's no longer about taking the silly out of them, because I know they have nothing better to do than to enact one random ass day where the itch makes them on their unsupervised anger issues, and I sure as fuck I'm not gonna wait and find out, and I'm not gonna let them have the first move. Also, I'm being made aware that they are currently being mass banned from servers. I have no part in this. Which means that there is another call-out post about this group being made by another party. In which case, I am more than willing to join our efforts. I am being told by Koi left Skyvesta ever since that update and changed his username. So somebody else that isn't me is taking action, and fast enough at that to scare him. His claim regarding the bans, which is not a good look, hence why I'm taking action. If you have any grievances with any of the individuals I'm showing on screen now, any testimonies can and will be used against them to put them out of a comfy position where they feel powerful enough to harm people unscathed. Share this video for it to reach the people that have been affected by those people, and for those of you responsible,